Leading up to Saturday, April 20th, Arnold Barbosa Jr. was looking for a gift. He was looking for something out of the skies to fall into his lap when it was noted that the pay-per-view card with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia would be tentative based on things that were going down with Ryan Garcia. But alas, the fight held up and it was put to rest. And Barbosa had to go ahead and face his scheduled opponent, Sean Mccomb from Ireland. And it turned out to be a much more tough task than Barbosa had anticipated. He wasn't looking for Mccomb to be as good as he was, but thankfully, Golden Boy bailed him out. Let's talk about what happened with Barbosa Jr. and Mccomb. Boxing never fails to disappoint as well as entertain. And we saw more of the same on Saturday when Arnold Barbosa was made to take on his original opponent, Sean Mccomb from Ireland. You see, going into this event, Barbosa was enlisted as a backup plan in the event that Ryan Garcia didn't hold up his end of the deal to face Devin Haney. So he would have been an emergency substitute. And Barbosa said at a press conference that announced the fight, regardless of if it's one guy or the other, I'm ready to take that step and take over, no matter which guy it may be. Now, it almost happened. It almost happened. Garcia came in at the weigh-in, and he was 3 pounds over. So the fight for the title would no longer be contested, as the Haney camp elected to go ahead through with the fight. And the rest is history. But the history between Barbosa and Mccomb was just getting to be written. And let me tell you, it was very interesting from the start, because opening this bout up, Mccomb from Ireland, all 6 foot of him, began to teach Arnold Barbosa what focusing up means. His long left jab troubled the 5'9" Barbosa Jr. And Barbosa, with his 72-inch reach, was finding it awfully difficult to get inside of the southpaw Mccomb. Not only being 6 foot tall, but a southpaw to bit. Now, as the fight wore on, Mccomb got more and more comfortable in the bout. He began to utilize lateral movement. He was spearing the body with a nice right jab and right hooks to the body, sometimes dropping a straight left from distance to the pit of Barbosa's stomach. These tactics put Barbosa in a hesitant mode. he was uncertain how to attack, and it appeared to everyone watching that Mccomb was building up points. Barbosa was very ineffective. In my personal scorecard, I gave him 1 round out of the 10. But what was even worse was the fact that he never made an adjustment in this fight to put Mccomb in a place of being uncomfortable. As the rounds wore on, Mccomb had began to find a rhythm, and he was more fluid, and he was seemingly having fun in there as he was boxing. No showboating, but just letting his hands go, finding the way to pepper Barbosa with shots that kept him at bay. Now, there was no knockout power, but just because the fighter didn't have knockout power doesn't mean he wasn't scoring. And Barbosa's face told the story of that. There were a couple of times when he was able to get some shots in on Mccomb, but nothing damaging that put Mccomb in peril. And as we looked at Barbosa's face, it was being terribly marked up. Now, he came away in this fight with a victory, a split decision victory that many in the audience, when the victory was read, the audience was silent, dead silent, as Barbosa's record of 30-0 remains unblemished with 11 KOs. But it was Mr. Mccomb who really stole the show, and it appeared that the fight was stolen from he. His record now falls to 18-2 with 5 KOs. But he did enough to win this fight. And it's disgusting when fighters train, travel, put their bodies through the disciplines to compete and perform on a night like this, and they can't receive their victory due to biased judges or judges on a corrupt take. I say that because there is no explanation why this gentleman should not have come out of this fight with his win. There was not enough done by Barbosa to take the fight. Some people said I would have been happy with the draw. I'm tired of giving people the benefit of the doubt when nothing was actually done in the manner of which they can achieve a victory. So why award them such if it wasn't earned in the first place? And a draw just basically puts a mask over things when fair play is not on the table. I hope that Sean Mccomb and other fighters like himself can somehow receive the real gift, and that's the gift of a level playing field and an opportunity to pursue their dreams. But as long as the corruption of boxing remains, we're going to see decisions like this. And as I read the scorecards of the judges, Benoit Russell had the fight 98-92 for Mccomb. Tom Schreck had it 96-94 for Barbosa. And then Don Trella had it 97-93 for Barbosa. How do two judges have the fight wide on opposite ends of the spectrum? You see, until you can make these guys sit down and explain their scorecards and take accountability, this will continue to happen because these judges can fade off into the sunset after turning in such trash cards. But people are getting wise. But now it is time to say something. And it's time for the promoters to do something, to start giving fighters their just due. And fighters like Barbosa will have to earn their keep instead of being awarded a victory. I don't like it. Even referee Steve Willis had a look of concern. If I'm not mistaken, he walked over to Mccomb's corner and congratulated him on his performance. You see, sometimes you just can't cover things up. Sometimes it's blatantly obvious. But boxing has got to get better. But what do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what your thoughts are about what happened in this fight. And what would you like to see take place on behalf of the fighters who are dealt a raw deal? Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.